Hello and welcome to the South West Londoner news broadcast with me, Emily Jeffcott.
And me, Albertine Brandon. Our headlines today. A fundraising page has been set up to cover the costs of the funeral of a man who was murdered in Morden this week. Nicky Morgan was in Wandsworth this morning, opening Floreat Wandsworth Primary School. The last independent bookshop in Wimbledon have expressed their concerns over the closure of W.H. Smith and Waterstones. And finally, we hit the streets of Wimbledon to hear people's thoughts on tennis match fixing.
The friends of Daniel Young, who was murdered in Morden on Tuesday morning, have set up a fundraising page to cover the costs of his funeral. The 30-year-old was stabbed to death in an unprovoked attack on his commute to work in Kendall Gardens at around 8 a.m. A 26-year-old man who was arrested on suspicion of murder has now been bailed until early March while investigations continue. Daniel lived in Morden but was originally from Paignton in Devon and was on the way to his second day of work at his dream job as a teacher at Coventry University's London campus near Liverpool Street. He had previously been general manager at the Antoinette Hotel in Wimbledon Broadway for many years. Last night, Scarlett Grant-Jones set up a fundraising website in his memory to raise money to cover the costs of a funeral.
Simon Connolly, a bar and restaurant manager who worked with Daniel, wrote a moving statement on Facebook. He said, "Dan was an amazing general manager, the best I've had the pleasure of working for. He was also one of the most genuine people I have ever met. I'll always be grateful for everything he did for me. I may not have got to know him for the longest amount of time, but I'll always cherish the laughs we had." He added, "I'm honoured that I could call him my friend, and I will miss him very much. My thoughts and love go out to his family, friends and all who knew him." The Met are continuing to appeal for witnesses to the attack, and a post-mortem examination is due to take place today at St George's Hospital. Police would like anyone who was in or around Kendall Gardens between 7:50 and 8:15 a.m. and who has any information about the attack or the suspect to contact the incident room or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Officers are now investigating whether the murder of Daniel is linked to another non-fatal stabbing which occurred in Lewis Road, Mitcham, 40 minutes earlier. A 23-year-old man was stabbed in the buttocks and was said to be recovering in hospital on Tuesday. There was reportedly police tape and vehicles blocking off the road near Asda shortly after the incident. The stab wounds are said not to be life-threatening or life-changing.
In other news, our reporter Maddie Howell went to the official opening of the Floreat Wandsworth Primary School and spoke to headmaster Matthew Custance and parent governor Camilla Brough. Nicky Morgan, Minister for Women and Equalities, cut the ribbon and gave a speech.
A free school in South West London welcomed a very special guest to its opening ceremony. Nicky Morgan, Education Secretary and Minister for Women and Equalities, enjoyed a performance from the children at the Floreat Wandsworth Free School in Earlsfield before cutting the ribbon. She praised the school for instilling curiosity and character in its pupils, much to the delight of head teacher Matthew Custance.
So today was our opening ceremony where the Right Honourable Nicky Morgan, Secretary of State, came to Floreat Wandsworth to officially open the school. A marvellous occasion for everyone involved.
I think you're both very lucky to be at this very special school. I think it was brilliant singing just now. And should we do a little countdown? 3, 2, 1, hey!
It's been a 4-year project where Lord O'Shaughnessy has set up a chain of schools, chain of academy and free schools, a mixture. This, Floreat Wandsworth, is the flagship, so it was opened in September to just a nursery and 2 reception classes. And in September we'll have our first Year 1 cohort as well.
It was a great honour to have her here today and a true testament to the fantastic work that's going on here. You know, the virtues is the big thing at Floreat. They do character education here. It's not just a one-off lesson on bravery or perseverance. They take a key virtue and they literally work on it for 3 or 4 weeks to half a term so that the children really instill those virtues and it's not just a sort of passing shot, and I think that's what makes them stand apart.
When we opened, we knew that we had to work with the community. Schools are a focal point of all communities and making sure that we are serving the children and serving them well. The parents have come back to us immediately and described how independent their child has become, such as serving each other at home during family dining or opening doors for each other and having that manners instilled in them from a very, very early age, and which we hope will carry on right through their education. Merging with that is the academic success, so we have very, very high expectations. Last week, Prime Minister talked about children thriving on high expectations. Here, the expectations and the bar is set exceptionally high.
I think if the model continues as we've seen here, there's no reason that it shouldn't become bigger and grow. And I think for any parent of a school like Floreat Wandsworth opens up round the corner, you are incredibly fortunate because it's setting your child up for the most amazing start.
After news of the recent closure of W.H. Smith and Waterstones in Wimbledon, we spoke to a volunteer at the last independent bookshop in the area, Copperfields. Graham Cook described the closure of the popular chain stores as a mixed blessing and told us of their concerns for the future of bookshops as a whole.
With Waterstones and W.H. Smith leaving Wimbledon Bridge, Copperfields is the last bookshop in the town centre. We spoke to staff member Graham Cook.
With the closure of W.H. Smith, but particularly Waterstones, that have closed within a couple of days of each other, there won't be any other shops in the centre of Wimbledon that sell books. So we hope more people will come into the shop as a result of that. Of course, the internet has an effect because there are fewer books being bought. We're very much on the knife edge as a business. It is more of a struggle to keep a shop going like this than it used to be, because we're one of a diminishing number of second-hand bookshops. I mean, any number have closed in central and outer London.
A third of the UK's independent bookshops have closed in the last 10 years, and an online petition to bring back bookshops to the area has gained more than 300 signatures.
There's still a good number of people who just enjoy the experience of coming in here. Very often I think people come in with a general idea of what they may be interested in, a subject or what they want, and then they rummage around in that section and they say, well, I didn't intend to buy this, but I know this is an interesting book, and they've gone out with something that they will enjoy but hadn't thought of reading before they stepped in the shop. One of the nice things about working here is when young people, children, come in and perhaps they discover the attraction of books for the first time. And we've got such a range of books, from anthropology to zoology and everything in between, and we've got just over 60,000 books. Quite often people say, oh, I've known this shop for years, I've passed by, gone behind the bus or driven by, I've never been inside, and they walk through the door and just amazed that we're here and why they haven't come in before. So we hope that perhaps with Waterstones closed, it will now prompt people to say, oh, I'll pop down to Copperfields.
Only time will tell if the town's book lovers are on the same page. This is Anna Koo reporting for South West Londoner. Back to you in the studio.
Allegations of widespread match fixing by players at the upper level of world tennis came to light last weekend. Our reporter Helen Reid spoke to people in Wimbledon to get their thoughts on the matter.
It was only on Sunday that an investigation by the BBC and BuzzFeed revealed allegations of widespread match fixing by players in the top levels of world tennis. No players have been named, but sports governing bodies had been warned repeatedly about a core group of 16 players, all ranked in the top 50. The shockwaves of the allegations have been felt worldwide. Even the heart of tennis has not been left unscathed by the scandal, with match fixing alleged to have occurred right here at Wimbledon.
As the claims cast a shadow over the Australian Open, we asked tennis fans in Wimbledon how they felt about the revelations and what they could mean for the future of one of Britain's long-standing favourite sports.
I was very disappointed when I heard it, when I read it and saw it on the news, because, you know, being a local Wimbledon girl, really, it's something we look forward to every year. And to think that, you know, your colleague or your co-competitors are actually wasting the effort is really sad.
I think it's a really big shame, because tennis is a national sport in this country especially, and it's kind of unfair because people love to watch tennis because of the fun of it. And because of match fixing, it kind of puts people off of it.
Completely. I think when match fixing goes on, you kind of think, well, what's the point of sport?
Very, very surprised, because I thought it was a clean sport.
Yeah, I think players should be banned if they have found match fixing, definitely.
World number one Novak Djokovic admitted he was once offered £140,000 to throw a match, but denies ever accepting such bribes. British number one Andy Murray said the revelations could be positive, as they could force tennis authorities to tackle the problem. But with more details likely to come to the fore, could it be game, set and match for the reputation of tennis? Lawrence Dollymore, Helen Reid, South West London News.
For the latest news in South West London, visit our website at www.swlondoner.co.uk.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you for watching South West London News. I'm Albertine Brandon.
And I'm Emily Jeffcott. Goodbye.
Bye.